Christian Horner's sudden departure from Red Bull Racing has sent shockwaves reverberating through the Formula One paddock, marking the dramatic end of an era that spanned 2 decades. Many are calling this the most turbulent period the team has ever faced. Red Bull stunned the motorsport world by terminating Horner's contract mid-season and swiftly appointing Laurent Mekies, former team principal of sister outfit Racing Bulls, as his successor. The implications of Horner's unexpected exit are profound, raising serious questions about Red Bull's future competitiveness, the stability of their star driver Max Verstappen, and most importantly what lies ahead for Horner himself. Horner's tenure at Red Bull was nothing short of legendary. Under his stewardship, the Milton Keynes-based team transformed from a promising newcomer into a dominant powerhouse, clinching 8 drivers' championships and multiple constructors' titles. His sharp strategic insight, masterful management skills, and unique ability to galvanize the team around its star drivers established Red Bull Racing as one of the most formidable forces in Formula One. But the dramatic unraveling over the past year is a stark reminder that even the strongest dynasties are not immune to internal strife and external pressures. The early signs of discord began to surface subtly during the 2023 season even as Max Verstappen secured his 4th consecutive title. Behind the scenes, however, cracks appeared. Key personnel began exiting, including technical leader Rob Marshall, who left for rivals McLaren. Meanwhile, growing friction between Red Bull's Austrian and Thai ownership factions hinted at deeper, more systemic issues within the team's hierarchy. Horner attempted to maintain a facade of unity, projecting outward confidence, even as internal tensions grew louder and more persistent. By early 2024, those cracks had widened into unmistakable fractures. Factory rumors of dissatisfaction began swirling just as concerns from Verstappen's camp surfaced about the team's strategic direction and overall competitiveness. A seismic shock struck in February when Red Bull launched a formal investigation into allegations of inappropriate conduct against Horner. Although he was swiftly cleared, the damage was done. Lingering doubts and eroded morale left trust between Horner and Red Bull's upper management severely strained, irreparably so. The 2024 season only deepened the crisis. Red Bull suffered a significant talent drain with Adrian Newey and Jonathan Wheatley announcing their exits, compounding the team's growing technical setbacks. Ferrari and McLaren began closing the performance gap, fueling speculation about Verstappen's future and his frustrations with the team's declining dominance. Horner, facing mounting pressure, made repeated efforts to steady the ship, but the divisions were now impossible to ignore and increasingly public. From late 2024 into 2025, the turmoil worsened. A bitter internal power struggle erupted between Red Bull's Austrian and Thai ownership groups. Horner's once loyal supporters began losing faith amid poor performances and Verstappen's increasingly vocal dissatisfaction. The Dutch star's open frustration with the team's inability to compete effectively with a resurgent McLaren and Ferrari only intensified the atmosphere of instability. The breaking point came during the disastrous summer races of 2025. At the British Grand Prix, Verstappen could only manage a 5th-place finish, while teammate Yuki Tsunoda again failed to score points. That result pushed the frustration to the edge. Red Bull executives convened a crisis meeting at their Milton Keynes headquarters, where senior stakeholders Shalom Uvidia, Mark Mateschitz, and Oliver Mintzlaff agreed unanimously that decisive action was necessary. On the 9th of July, 2025, the axe finally fell. Christian Horner's illustrious 20-year journey at Red Bull ended abruptly, leaving a massive leadership void in a team standing at a critical crossroads. Red Bull issued a carefully worded statement, thanking Horner for his invaluable contributions and describing him as a central figure in the team's sustained success. Mintzlaff publicly acknowledged Horner's tireless service and his pivotal role in creating one of Formula One's greatest modern legacies. Simultaneously, Laurent Mekies assumed immediate control of operations tasked with restoring order to a team reeling from internal chaos, just as the 2026 regulation shift looms. But amidst the chaos, attention inevitably turns to Horner's next move. Rumors are swirling fast, linking the veteran team principal to Ferrari. Whispers across the paddock suggest Maranello could be his next destination. Ferrari, while relatively strong in the 2025 constructors' standings, remains winless this season and trails significantly behind McLaren. Current team boss Fred Vasseur faces intense scrutiny. Italian motorsport insiders reveal Ferrari's senior management is actively exploring leadership alternatives. The idea of Horner leading Ferrari isn't new. Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko previously admitted that Horner came close to accepting an offer to replace Mattia Binotto in late 2022. Marko even confessed to personally intervening, persuading Horner to stay by offering generous incentives. That decision cost Red Bull millions. Now, with his ties to Red Bull finally severed, a move to Ferrari seems more likely than ever. Interestingly, Horner's past comments about Ferrari provide a glimpse into his thinking. He's openly criticized Ferrari's bureaucratic and politically entangled decision-making process. He's called out their tendency to act more like a national institution than a race team. Horner has urged Ferrari to adopt a bold, streamlined leadership style similar to Red Bull's approach. Should Ferrari succeed in hiring him, Horner's priority would be reshaping the team into a fast, agile, and strategically fearless unit, traits that defined his leadership at Red Bull. Ferrari's interest in Horner underscores their desperation to return to Formula One dominance. Their continued struggles highlight the urgent need for a proven winner, someone who can deliver results and restore pride in Maranello. Horner's credentials, experience, and championship pedigree align perfectly with Ferrari's ambitions. This could be a mutually transformative partnership. However, Horner remains tight-lipped. As recently as the Spanish Grand Prix, he dismissed speculation linking him to Ferrari, reaffirming his commitment to Red Bull. But the landscape has now changed dramatically. With that long-standing allegiance broken, Horner faces a compelling choice: retire, take a sabbatical, or take on the immense challenge that leading Ferrari would surely bring. At the same time, Max Verstappen's future at Red Bull has become more uncertain than ever. The Dutch driver's growing frustration mirrors the broader instability within the team. His manager recently expressed disappointment at Horner's departure, hinting that Verstappen could be evaluating options elsewhere. This instability puts Red Bull in a precarious position, not just in maintaining its competitiveness, but in holding onto its biggest asset. In the end, Horner's dramatic exit is far more than the close of a career chapter. It represents a pivotal shift in Formula One's landscape. How Red Bull regroups under Laurent Mekies, how Verstappen's story unfolds, and whether Ferrari capitalizes on this once-in-a-generation opportunity to bring in Horner, these are the threads that will define the next phase of F1's fiercely competitive saga. And that's why the upcoming Belgian Grand Prix is about much more than points. It's the first true glimpse of what Red Bull racing will look like without Christian Horner. As the F1 world watches with bated breath, one thing is certain: this marks the end of an extraordinary era, and the beginning of a bold, uncertain, and captivating new chapter. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments below.